Okay, guys, we are on lesson 8-6, and we're going to be talking about writing and graphing inequalities. Okay, so writing means we're going to take words and we're going to translate it into a math sentence, and then we're going to also practice graphing. So there's a couple different, we're going to deal with them separately, but you could also be asked to graph your solution. But word problems, we tend not to graph, but basic problems we do. So I'm going to do a little bit of the translation kind, and then we're going to move on from there. Okay, so I'm just going to put at the top our 4 guys that we are going to be using somehow. Now, these are going to be simple. In other words, when I translate, I'm going to have a variable inequality number, and that's it. That's as harsh as it's going to get, okay? So let's do just a couple of these. So write them down, please. We've got directions are going to ask us to write an inequality. For each sentence, define your unknown. So what words do I not know how to change into a math or a number, a variable, or a number or inequality symbol that would be left over with what a variable is going to replace? All right, so the first one we have is you must be over 12 years old to ride the go-karts. Okay, so your age has to be over 12. So that's what I'm going to do, is kind of consolidate it out into kind of the gist of what they're saying. Your age must be over 12. So we got rid of all the extraneous stuff. So what is it that we don't know? So what is going to be the variable in this problem? And the problem is your age. Okay, so we're going to say that's our x. Okay, so that's what I mean by define your variable. Now we're going to go ahead and translate an inequality. And that's going to be your age must be over 12. So that's got to be greater than. It doesn't say you can be 12, it says you have to be over 12. So that would be that inequality. Okay, let's try another one. A pony is less than 4.2 hands tall. Now, I don't know if any of you are equestrians who ride horses, but yeah, for whatever reason, their measurement is hands. Isn't that interesting? So let's see. I'm looking for the words that tell me the inequality. So let's look here. Is less than. Okay. And then I'm looking for something in the beginning.
Technically.
Oh, sorry, guys.
When it comes to...
Sorry. Hearing weird stuff in the background. That would be me. This is what I don't know, is the pony. But what about the pony? It talks about being tall, so this would be the pony's height. There's my definition. And then we're going to grab a number. Okay, so put it all together, and we have the inequality. And that's going to be the pony's height is less than 4.2. So we just really take our inequality as down to the basics. We're going to take it down to our unknown. We're going to take it down to the relationship between the unknown and a number, and then obviously the number. All right, let's do one more. You must be at least, or you could be more, 16 years old to have a driver's license. Okay, so let's think about this. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to start with the inequality. At least. So that means this is the youngest you can be, but you could be older. So that's going to be greater than or equal to. The number in this problem is going to be the 16. And pretty much everything else is going to be your unknown. So when we're talking about years old, have a driver's license, we're going to say it like this: age to have a driver's license. You could say your age to have a driver's license. Okay, so all of that is going to be describing you. All right, so then let's see what our inequality would be. We've got you, that's our x, must be at least, so greater than or equal to, and then 16. Okay, now this is just a small portion of what we're going to cover, but the biggie is going to be the graphing. That's the super important part. So let's go to my next slide, and let's talk about graphing. So when we're graphing, our symbols are going to break down into two groups. They're going to break down to greater than or less than, and greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Okay. Now, with greater than or less than, the number is not a solution. Okay, so it's not included in the answer. But in the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, the number is a solution. So to indicate, we need to draw a circle at our given number. So we are going to do what's called an open circle. That's going to go with greater than or less than, because the number we're going to graph is not a solution. Okay, and then if the number is a solution, we're going to do what's called a closed circle. I don't think I wrote circle over there. Let's do that. And we'll say open circle at number, and then closed circle at number. Okay. So that's the key thing we have to pay attention to. Is the number a solution or not? The inequality tells us if it is a solution or not. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is going to be, what's the number? Okay, so whatever that number is, I'm going to put him in the middle. So let's say x is greater than 2. So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to put them in the middle. Then I'm going to write the number that's smaller. Number that's 1 smaller. And I'm going to write the number that's larger. Number that's 1 larger. Okay. Now, so we got, and we're going to do this on a number line. So this would be my number line. Like this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? And that's all I need. I don't need 0 in the center, 10 numbers to the left, 10 numbers to the right. Nope. And that's how your book kind of writes it in. That's why I don't like the book sometimes. All you need is to have your number that's in the inequality in the middle, and then in front of it is the number smaller than it, just smaller than it, and the number after it is the number just bigger than it. Then we're going to group our inequality symbols a different way. So then this is going to be direction to draw the line. Now the line is all good answers. Okay, so we would have like, excuse me, if we have greater than, or equal to, what I want you to look is at this. What direction does it point? It's pointing to the right, and that's exactly the direction you're going to draw your line on the number line to look like the inequality. Then the other direction is going to be less than or equal to, and it's pointing to the left. Okay? You probably have more room at the end of your paper. I don't, so I'm going to go over to the right here. And the directions are going to say graph the inequality. So we're going to do 3 of these. So let's see, we did, how many did we do over here? 1, 2, 3. So let's do 3 over here. So starting with number 4, let's do x is greater than 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that inequality symbol and I'm going to ask myself some questions. Is that going to be an open or closed circle? So according to what we wrote, greater than or less than are open circles. And that's going to be at the 12, okay? And then what direction am I graphing? And you're going to graph right. Now, when you graph, you're going to exaggerate your graph for me, okay? And this is what I mean by that. We're going to draw our number line. We're going to put 3 tick marks because it's a whole number. 12 is going to go in the center. The number in front of 12 is 11, so just like you would look at a number line, and 13 comes after 12. We're going to draw an open circle at 12 that says 12 is not a solution. And then we're going to color to the right. Now, notice I'm coloring on the number line. Now, look at this. I'm going to color in that arrow cap. I do not want to see you floating above the number line because that's not graphing. And I don't want to see the graph look like the number line. You got to exaggerate it so there's no confusion as to what you think the answer is. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do, this is a good one. And I'm just using x, as you know me. It can be any variable. What if you have a fraction or a decimal or mixed number, like what I have here? How am I going to graph this? Well, first I'm going to start with the inequality. Okay, so less than is an open circle. and it's going to be at 14.2. And then the direction it's pointing says you're going to graph left. Now, 14.2 is not a number on the number line, right? It's a number that falls between two numbers on the number line. So this falls between 14 and 15. Okay? So in addition to those two, you're going to have to put the number that comes in front of 14 and the number that comes after 15. So in this case, you will have four numbers. So 14 and 15. In front of 14 is a 13. After 15 is a 16. Now, you're going to have to make a mark where you think 14.2 is, and then you're going to label it. And I'm going to label it above 14.2. And then open circle at 14.2 because it's not a solution. And then I color to the left, making a big, thick arrow cap. And there's my graph. Number 6, we have x is greater than or equal to 16. So let's see what we get for this one. Greater than or equal to, it has the or equal to, so it's going to be closed circle at 16. So what this is saying is that 16 is actually a solution. Okay. And then we are going to look at the direction it's pointing, and it's pointing to the right, so we're going to graph right. So it's pointing the direction to color because you got more. Okay, so let's do our number line. So it's pretty easy with this stuff. It's not a lot of work. 16, 15 comes in front, 17 comes after it. So we're going to go to 16 and we're going to put a closed circle. Make sure it's closed. And color to the right and that arrow cap in. And that's what we're going to be working on. So good luck with this. We'll see you soon. Bye now.